Okay, so welcome everybody. In today's session, we're going to discuss psychology in depth.
Psychology represents up to 70 to 90% of your trading career, of your trading mentality. It's all about psychology. It's all about like mentality, the way you think about things, the way you vision stuff too. So it's even about beliefs too, and about the limits you have deep in your subconscious mind and your deeper subconsciousness too.
Psychology is going to go through realization, acceptance, awareness, fear, greed, and confidence. Perfect.
So in realization, basically realization is the act of becoming fully aware of something. So it's just a phase when you start realizing, okay, I'm doing this over and over again. I'm keeping on like doing the same mistakes over and over again. I keep on taking the same losses over and over again. Right. So it's the first step. You need to just realize that you're drifting. I'm doing something wrong here. There's gotta be something else I have to do, or I need to change something else in my perspective or the way I see things too. So it's like all of the facts you're going to realize about yourself, your personality, the way you think, the way you perceive the market too, the way you approach the market, the kind of mistakes you always keep on doing over and over again. As long as you realize these facts, you're going to reach the consistency and profitability desired, which is like is already desired by you as a trader. Why? It's more about consistency. So when we're talking about consistency, you need risk management with it, because without risk management, you're not going to be consistent at all. Why? Risk management is going to give us the edge to survive for a longer time or a longer run in the market. And profitability, you're going to see it as long as you're consistent. You're going to see that you're going to make money. You know, at the beginning, it does like the percentage doesn't really matter at the beginning, but then okay, my bad. So, but then you're going to start increasing your profitability too. You're going to start to increase your expectancy per trade too. You're going to start like increasing elements because you already realized your failures, your weaknesses, your strengths too. So as long as you just realize yourself as a creator, as a human being, you realize your weaknesses, your mistakes, your struggles, what do you actually want from the market too, what you actually you're trying to achieve, your why, what is the why you're trying to achieve too. Am I just trading to be cool, or I'm just trading to like yeah, so I own my 24 hours basically. What is it you're trying to achieve when it comes to trading? Because believe it or not, without goals, you ain't gonna make it, because you're going to keep on achieving and breaking limits, but you don't even have a goal. You don't even have like a roof. So you build the next one too. You don't even have a ceiling too. So you you're just going to keep on going, 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 going. And you're still feeling inside you that this is not enough, man. I'm not doing anything. So be sure that what you're actually going for is not materialistic or machineries. It won't help, because it's more about being a human being rather than being like an ego creator. So that's when it comes to realization. You gotta like identify your mistakes. If you have a loss, it's okay. Just like, okay, I have a loss. This is a nice lesson. I'm gonna go to my losses, trip on my losses too. See, okay, why did I lose? How could I have taken this trade in a better way? Why did I actually lose? This is an example. Then we go to acceptance. Then we go to acceptance. So when it comes to acceptance, it's really difficult. It's us humans. It's our nature. We don't accept that much things. We don't accept difficult situations too. So we need to start accept first. We accept who we are. We accept our skin. We accept our thoughts, our beliefs. We accept everything we are like we represent to. This is our first step. Why? Because first you realize who you are, your mistakes, your strengths, your weaknesses, your struggles. You just okay. I realized everything. Then I'm going to accept everything too. I'm just going to accept everything. Why do I need to accept everything? So the question is, why do I need to accept everything? Yeah, answer. Like, yeah, in the chat, something. Yeah, true. To be calm with yourself, in peace with yourself too. So here's the thing: you cannot just keep on blaming yourself, because that blame generates some hate. So you keep, then afterwards you start blaming yourself, then you start hating yourself, because you're the one who's doing everything to yourself too. You get it? And we don't want that. It's not like I'm saying like, yeah, okay, I wake up in the morning, I write on a piece of paper, I'm grateful. No, man. It comes from deep inside you. Once you realize yourself, once you actually realize everything that actually represents you as a human being, then you start accepting that. Then when it comes to trading, you start accepting your losses. Why do I need to accept my losses? Because your losses are your lessons, man. They just are your lessons, man. So as long as you accept your losses, you ain't gonna blame it on the market. You ain't even going to overtrade. Second, you're not going to overtrade. You're not even going to over risk. Good. So just accept the situation. That doesn't mean like, okay, I accepted the situation, then okay, I surrendered. No, it doesn't mean that. Once I accept that situation, then I already took the challenge. Then I already accepted the challenge too. And I'm down for it. I'm gonna keep on digging till I reach the area where I'm just going up from. Then we go to awareness. So we drift a lot. I know that. I know that for myself too. I read a lot of neuroscience books too. We as humans, we drift so much. Like we really drift. Why do we drift? Because we keep on shifting our thoughts. We keep on shifting our mind. We tend not to focus on now. On the moment, on like what's happening now at the moment. Even some of us now in this boot camp, what I'm like just clearing some things up, they're already thinking like in the future. Okay, is he going to give us some good trading strategy? When I'm not even going to give a strategy, I'm going to teach you how to be a trader. Then am I going to make money on Monday? Where is gold going to? So that's the trick. You need to shift. You need to shift your mind. You need to shift your consciousness from yesterday and tomorrow to now, to just enjoy the moment. Why you need to do that? That's another question. Answer. I'm waiting your answers in the chat. It will make you happy. Mm, okay, I like what I'm seeing. Okay, all what you said is 100% true. I cannot disagree with anybody. You know, all what you actually said is 100% true. But here is the trick. So I said it. All what you said is 100% right, realistic. But here is the trick. So being a mindful, you know, it has a direct impact on yourself, on your life, then inside the markets. Why? Because if you notice that trading is a game between you and yourself too. So you're the one who are like taking the decisions. I'm not taking decisions for you, right? So you're the one who's making the decisions. So to do so, to have good decisions, you need to focus on what I can actually control. So if I keep on talking about this till the next year, okay, I don't want to be fat. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to live there. I don't want to have this house. I want a better house. If I keep on talking about things, are they going to change? 100% no. But if I start executing and working on these things that I really want, then I'm going to have more odds in my favor. Then I'm going to have way more odds in my favor. Then I'm going to have higher chances to what? To achieve them, right? Why? Because I just shifted my consciousness from I want to, and I start controlling and focusing on what I want to do at the moment now. What I can't control. So I cannot control if I'm going to live tomorrow or no. I cannot control if gold is going up or down, right? But what I can control is, okay, my decisions, which are like, okay, am I buying? Is it an uptrend? Am I buying in an uptrend? Am I buying at support? Am I buying at resistance? What is my risk management too? Am I just like, do I have like a 10 grand account and I'm risking like 6, 7 lots? Okay, what's my stop loss? Is it realistic? When I'm trading, am I trading in the middle of the night or I'm trading you're in London, let's say, for instance? So you just like be aware, be mindful, focus on what you can actually control. You don't even need meditation. You just need to sit by yourself for like 10 minutes and focus on one thing. Just one fucking thing, just one thing. Sorry, excuse my French. One thing. You're going to realize that, okay, my brain is actually drifting. I'm drifting. I'm not just thinking about that. I might be focusing on that like for 2, 3 minutes, then like for a couple of seconds, my brain is going somewhere else once I leave it flow. Because it's just a memory, it's just a storage of past lives. For now, what you've done before, your traumas, your dreams, what you saw on YouTube, what you saw on like Instagram, whatever, what you saw in real life when you were driving your car, going to grab a drink or something. So it's just a storage. It keeps on repeating, repeating, repeating. Then it keeps on like then for a point when you drift too much, your brain is going to generate some scenarios that they're not even realistic at all. They don't even exist. Then you start being anxious too. Why all of that? Because I'm not aware, man. I'm just drifting. I'm not thinking on now. I'm not thinking about, okay, I'm not even controlling what I can control. I'm just trying to control things that I have no power. I have no influence upon them. I cannot even control them no more. That's it for awareness. Then we're going to go through fear. So fear, 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 fear. So why is fear even the fourth state in psychology? Because first, when you realize your mistakes, your struggles, your weaknesses, your challenges, let's say it that way, your strengths too, then you accept them. Then you start being aware. Then fear doesn't even represent anything to you. Then fear has no place in your life. Why? Fear comes from you not having confidence first. Fear comes from an anxious mind, anxious body, anxious personality. It comes from worrying too much too. So we ain't got time for fear, man. What we already fixed fear by realizing us, like ourselves. Then second, accepting who we are. Third, being aware of our own behavior. Why our own behavior? Because we are the ones who are actually taking those decisions, right? So we're being aware of our own behavior. But unfortunately, our own behavior is being influenced and affected by external behaviors too. Sorry, external factors. That's why we tend to control, like to try to control things that we cannot control. So we focus on the external elements. That's when we're being fearful. That's when we're being anxious. That's when we are being afraid. But once we shift back, we just get our brain back from there to here, to the moment, and we start controlling what we can control. We're not anxious anymore. We're not afraid. We don't have anything to be afraid of. If I'm just thinking about now, if I'm just now giving this boot camp and I'm giving everything for the boot camp, why do I need to be afraid of? Right. So when it comes even to fear in trading is a struggle, is a really struggle if you let fear take a place in your life as a trader, because you cannot even execute after that. You will be start like just being anxious about everything. What if I just like enter the trade and it hits my stop loss? What if I just like enter the trade and I lost money? What if I just enter the trade and it's consolidated? What if I enter the trade and it's gapped? What if? It's a loop, never going to end. So we just follow, the steps, and it's pretty simple after that. Greed. So greed. That's why I told you need to know exactly why do you want to trade. Your why. You gotta start doing some calculations too. How much do I need to live a good life, to quit my job, to trade full time? So how much do I need a month for my bills, to have some savings on the side, to have good life, decent life? Then you calculate it per month. Then you say like, okay, what is it by year? Like in my case, I live in Europe. I live in Berlin and in Amman. So both cities are really expensive to live in. Good. So my rent in Berlin is around 1,500 euros a month for my apartment. Good. So I need like another 200 for my insurance. We're just calculating the cost of your living, the cost of you having not comfortable life, a decent life. Good. This like 1,700, right? Then everything else I'm going to need is for my food and me enjoying my time, right? So let's say I can spend 50 bucks a day, which are like 1,500. Although some days I spend way more than this, but yeah, let's say 1,500, because at the beginning when you're starting, You gotta close your hand, on your money and know how to deal with your money. Be smart with your money too. So in total, I needed 3,200 euros to live a decent life a month. You start like this. Then you'll be like, okay, how much capital does it require me to have so I can generate this amount of money per month too? So because you gotta be realistic too. You don't just have expectations, because like expectations shouldn't have a place in your life as a trader too, or as a human being too, because you're living in the moment. You're living in like now. You're focusing on now. So you're not drifting. You're not expecting things too. You're not like, your brain is not generating scenarios out of nowhere too. So your brain is not just generating scenarios out of nowhere too. So you're not drifting, you're not expecting things, you're just living your life, going with the flow, controlling what you want to control, doing the things you really want to do in your life too. You're not just living every day as a random day, just putting up with new things. No, it doesn't work that way too. So then you start calculating a year. And you say like, okay, I need around 50 grand a year to live a decent life. Then you see, okay, how much capital do I have now to? My capital, you know, cap. How much capital do I have? Why are we talking about all of this too? Because that doesn't make sense that I have a grand in my trading account and I want to just get 300% every month. Yeah, I can do that, but that doesn't make sense too. Because one of the months I'm going just to fail and lose all of my money, because I'm just going to risk money too. Because it's just 1,000, it's just a grand. And so to make 3 grand a month, I need to be making like $100 a day. No, it's around $150 a day, because we have 22 trading days there. So I need every day to generate 150. How am I going to generate these 150? By 0.1 lot? Is the market going to give me every day like 150 pips? Forget about gold this period, I had months when I just like, I'm day trading, scalping gold every day, generating like 30 pips a day, because it's no volume, no liquidity. So you're just going to consider the average too. So you're going to trade 0.5 lots. I can trade 0.5 lots on a $1,000 account, easy. But because I have the skills required to do that. So it's more about learning first, knowing exactly why am I trading? Why do I need to achieve from trading? Then how am I going to achieve that from trading? I have a lot of people like might telling me like, okay, I'm quitting my job to trade full time. I'll be like, when I quitted my job at Zara, I was like, I had like around like 20 grand in my bank account. So it doesn't make sense for you to quit your job when you don't even have that much to, or like 5 grand. Like nowadays, when an 18 years old pulls up on me and tell me like, I want to be trader, I'll be like, you're lucky, because you're still living with your family too. You have no expenses. So if you start from now, within a year or 2 years, you'll be making a grand, 500 a day easy. It's pretty easy, Confidence. So confidence is a stressful topic for a lot of traders. Why? Because you're not confident enough, And nowadays, unfortunately, nowadays, most of them folks, most of the population, they are not confident. They don't have the confidence to do things. They don't have the confidence to quit their jobs and start something they love. They have the confidence to break up with someone they love, but they're not like happy with them, or you're not getting along the way. They're not confident to change where they live. They're not confident enough to change where, like, the country they're living in, their dreams, to just, there is no confidence. Confidence comes from trials, and I believe confidence comes with DNA too. It depends on DNA to another DNA, and it depends on you as a human being. If you're so stubborn and you want to make it in life, forgive me, but I don't, like, the meaning of making it doesn't mean money, man. Money is not everything in life. Yeah, definitely we need money to live, because unfortunately we are like in capitalism. That's the way we live. We need money to pay bills, to get like a good healthcare, to travel, to get gifts for the people we love, to treat our family a good way, to just help our parents. Yeah, we need money, but the goal is not money too. Money is just your tool, because it's about your mindset too. If you're happy with whatever you have, you're going to be happy with whatever you have to. Even if you're broke, even if you're rich, you're going to be happy, easy, So you don't need to stress it. So, but when it comes to that confidence in trading, that's why confidence is the last step, because we already built confidence during the way to confidence. We realized everything. We accepted everything. We're being aware of everything too, and we're controlling what we can actually control. We're not afraid of shit. We're not greedy. We know exactly what we need for what we need it. We already built our confidence, but when it comes to trading too, you build confidence the more you practice. If one of my team is here, they will tell you how much I stress backtesting. You gotta train your eyes. You gotta train your brain too, because once the next time you see this happening, you'll have the confidence to execute because you saw it over and over and over and over again. That's when you build your confidence. Like drop some. Can I say that? You just like, yeah, do it. Do it. How much you gonna lose? Think. If I have 10 G's in my account, okay, I'm risking $100 a day. I saw a setup that I want to execute. I want to buy, let's say, whatever, Nike, Nikkei, whatever. Like, yeah, I want to buy like X investment something, whatever. Yeah, I want to buy X. So I want to risk $100. So you're already comfortable with the $100. If you're not comfortable with risking $100 a day, or like on a trade, then chunk it. Instead of $100 on a trade, chunk it. Yeah, trade. Do 2, 3 trades a day. Do 2, like $50 here, $50 here. At the end, if you really know what you're risking, you shouldn't be afraid. You shouldn't be anxious. You should have the confidence to do that, because you already know the consequences. And if you have all of the odds in your favor too, if you've backtested enough to your edge, now your strategy, your skills, you will know, like, okay, I backtested like 600 trades, manual backtesting. So I saw what happened in every trade in details. My brain already proceeded everything. So I know, like, let's say the probability of me having this trade right is up to 80%. Then I'll be like, okay, the probability of me having a losing week is even less than 1%. Why am I afraid? Why don't I just drop some balls on the table and risk it?